Hello! So, I was going to do this as a written post, but basically just my mind is just like this, so my fingers can't go fast enough to type out the thoughts, so doing this as a video. So, it hit me this afternoon how this global pandemic just totally mimics Jumanji: The Next Level. So, I have two theories for you that I'm intrigued to hear your thoughts about. Awakened or Traveller? So, I'm going to elaborate on all this. First theory, Awakened. So, and just content warning, spoilers ahead. I'm not going to go into the entire movie in depth, just kind of the themes and, so if you haven't watched it, maybe switch off. Spencer, the main character, he, at the beginning of the film, all the friends, it's 3 years in the future now from the previous film, and everybody has dispersed over the country, and everybody is keeping in contact via group chat, yeah? And they're basically planning a reunion, and Spencer is reading all the messages but doesn't text back and stuff, and he's basically feeling disconnected. He's not seen his friends in God knows how long, and he is feeling like he is missing this sense of purpose in his life. And that brings his thoughts back to the game, Jumanji. So he goes into the basement, I think it was, and looks at the game and makes that decision in that moment that he had purpose there in Jumanji, and the bonding experience that they all, had during that time. And he's sucked in, he's pulled right into it, and he goes back. And, the friends get worried. They're like, what's going on? And they turn up at his house, where his grandfather is staying after hip replacement, and his grandfather's very old friend pops round. So they're in the house at the time. Basically, they go down to the basement and find that he's gone back into the game, and they all get pulled in, including the grandfather and the friend. So two people who have never even experienced this shit before, Oops, I shouldn't have sworn on Linky. And, once again, they're pulled into this crisis, this absolute pressing emergency to once again save Jumanji from yet another threat. And once again, they embark on this adventure, this time with two add-alongs. Excuse me. And, they this time around, they've got new weaknesses, the same limited lives and do-overs or whatever. But this time, some of them are in different bodies to last time. So, it all goes crazy. But the whole thing about it is that they've got this mission and they need to save Jumanji. And once again, at the end, of course, they do save it. And they come back to the modern world, and Spencer then is with his grandfather in person and starts teaching him to play video games. So, now that I've laid that out, I'm going to come back to the theories. First, the Awakened one. So, how it mirrors this whole pandemic thing is so this whole thing with the Awakened theory, the first one, is basically this idea of somebody who has awakened to the possibility of different realities, or being in some kind of matrix or whatever. And it's to do with them basically having been on an adventure like this before in the past, and you know, being pulled back to how amazing that adventure was, and you know, needing that same kind of meaning and purpose in their life. But in terms of, you know, the people who were forced along on the journey, it's like, you know, they've made that decision and they're like, no, I need this. It's more than anything ever. And they go on this adventure and their friends realise that they have gone back there. So I should have explained the concept before. The concept is that literally, like, we live unlimited lives. Like, literally, when we die, we're born again to infinity. We just carry on living life after life after life. And the whole the whole Jumanji side of things is each next life kind of thing, and feeling disconnected from whatever is in the in-between kind of thing. I don't know, I think I'm probably explaining that a bit wrong and not quite how I mean. Hopefully it'll all come together at the end. But yeah, so you're off again on your next life, and you're pulling all these others on their next life, and a couple of people who, you know, maybe are starting out for the first time, their first life, I presume. Yeah, guess so. And you know, you're there again, and I did explain it wrong. Like the going there again is in terms of, it doesn't really fit, but it does in a kind of way. So just give me like some poetic license here, okay? The real world is basically our kind of reality, and Jumanji is the okay. Our reality is like the end of it. Like, do you return back to the Matrix and stuff, or do you return to real life? I probably am like making no sense at all here, but okay. And yeah, so you're pulling all these others along with you, and again, you know, this life, this next life, it's different. You know, you may be a different person, you may be a very similar person, but you have different weaknesses this time around. Different things that will completely destroy you and, you know, smash you down to the ground in terms of, like, you know, lives and stuff like that. Oh, does that mean that we can only deal with 3? Anyway, sidetracking. Yeah, and the whole thing is, you know, as life is a journey, and, you know, in this parallel, this journey is full of like intense, like opposite spectrums of emotions and stuff, and experiences, like experiencing everything on the full spectrum, like fear, pain, love, everything, just like complete the polar extremes of everything. But knowing that the ultimate thing is, you know, you're saving Jumanji. So what is Jumanji? Is it like, you know, is it our world, our planet, you know, in terms of like how the planet is healing with everybody being restricted? Is it to do with that? Is the pandemic, you know, because, you know, the world needed desperately for everybody to just stop, you know, and just be like, I'm dying here, just give me some time to heal. So is it over when it's healed enough? Is, you know, are other things, the methods that have been put in place around the world by governments and stuff to do with windscreen wipers, I knew that was going to come in. Yeah, are these measures that have been put in place, which are actually helping the planet now, are they what ultimately leads, you know, the Linky crew to reach that point of triumph where the pandemic ends, and it's all due to all the things that we have all endured during this time to make sure that we are putting other people, other human beings first before anything else, and having this side effect of healing the planet. And so it parallels with the whole Jumanji thing, that these people reluctantly went on this adventure, didn't want to, but they were thrown into it and had literally no say over the matter whatsoever. You're just forced to comply and fight for your life, basically. Yeah. So that's kind of the gist of the awakened theory. So, Traveller, that's the next one. So this one assumes that we kind of start the story at the next level as opposed to the previous films. And it's due to like this pull to go back. It's based on you having been known, having some kind of sense, gut feeling, soul feeling that you have been on this adventure before in some kind of past life or something, or maybe, the memory has been erased somehow. Ooh, conspiracy theories. Yeah, so you choose your cluster, and no, yeah, you did choose your cluster to begin with, but no, you choose to go. You're like, I just know, this is worth the risk. It's worth doing it because I know that this is going to be the most exhilarating experience of my life. I have to go back there. So yeah, you choose to go, and your cluster realizes what the heck has happened. They're like, you've disappeared. Another poetic license here. They probably don't understand where or why they find the game, and then it accidentally sucks you in, the original Jumanji. And they immediately, or maybe they also have this sense of I know this as well, but she's actually taken the step, that extra step, and shit, I swore again, I'm sorry, LinkedIn, don't take this down. Yeah, so maybe they have already been there and they know the risk ahead, and they choose to go there because they love you and they need to be with you, and a part of them actually kind of wants to experience that adventure again, even knowing the whole what's gonna come up ahead. But yeah, you drag a couple of others along who haven't experienced that before, so same kind of concept there. And yeah, so you arrive, and the thrill of the adventure, it just sustains you to endure all of the danger and hippopotamuses that Jumanji throws at you. Or not Jumanji, the villains or whatever. I don't know, I can't even remember. Screen wiper. And yeah, coming back at the end, I'm really gonna keep this short now because we've gone over 10 minutes. At the end, the end of it, the saving Jumanji is essentially the end of the Rona, yeah? And the whole digital place or simulation or matrixy type place thingy is ended, and your virtual reality that you have created in this whole time during the pandemic via Linky, Zoom, all of this, all connected wirelessly, that's over. It's over, and you can finally actually go see your friends. Yeah, so that pretty much sums it all up, and the last thing that I have to say is which scenario would you pick as the answer? Maybe you even have some of your own. let me know.